Hello and welcome everyone. I was reading a newspaper article a while ago and it clearly read a 10-year-old girl was gang raped by 8 boys. And what's sad to see is 7 of them were from the age group of 10 to 12, barely teenagers. Now, there have been several POCSO guidelines that have been clearly implemented in several organizational structures, such as schools and colleges. But the question still remains to be answered as to what are the roles of parents while educating their children with regards to sexual activities. We have with us today advocate Pooja Sareen, who is here to answer a few questions we at Lawgorithmz had in our mind. We thank you, ma'am, for being here with us, and we're glad to have you.
Thank you so much. Pleasure
Yes,
is
ma'am.
all mine.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, first we'll start with the first question is, do you feel that there needs to be household awareness when it comes to anti-rape laws? And do parents need to have an active role in educating their children with regards to these laws?
Yes, I really think that there is a dire need for the parents because this was an alarming news. It's just not a news, it is the reality of today. After the OTT, which is the over the top, of the web series coming in and too much exposure the kids have today, parents generally just gadget them with laptops and mobiles, and then they either watch whatever they watch, they have no control on it. Also, with the advent of web series, abuses, sexual imagery, sexual scenes, all of it has become very, very common. Now, while you give a gadget like a laptop or a mobile to your children, how do you monitor what exactly are they watching, not watching? With the result, also we have to consider that in a lockdown situation for last 1.5+ years now, our kids or kids in general are very, very frustrated. They are so frustrated that they do not know what exactly is to be done. And sex has become for them a tool to be giving vent to their frustrations. They are going through depression, they're going through a lot of hard times because the normal social life is disturbed. They're not going to schools, not attending schools over so long. They're not able to sit and chat with their peers, with the result that mental stress is building on them. And also, a situation has come as you started, and you told me just now that there had been a situation wherein a 10-year-old girl was gang raped by the children which were not beyond 12. So, look at and consider what kind of a situation are we in. It is terrible situation that we guys are in, and I completely would reiterate here for the need of parents to support the kids and to be understanding their psychology and to be talking about sex, educating them on sex, even children as well, that how is it and what is it that they should do and they should not do.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, moving forward, just as you pointed out, with the advent of the OTT, the over-the-top, and then certain subtle sexual innuendos that are portrayed in web series that children are able to watch nowadays, with the advent of these gadgets being provided to them very easily. As you said, that sex is now being utilized as a tool during a lockdown to vent out frustrations. Do you feel that the government is not taking action, or there should be certain actions that parents themselves need to take to prevent their children from watching these web series? Or is there a way that we can actually control this watch time?
So the government came up with the POCSO Act, which is prevention of sexual harassment against children already, right? So if there is a sexual abuse, they came up with the guidelines, they made it mandatory, and the schools are also following the same, right? So the school is doing its bit, the government has done its bit, but yes, I guess where we get stuck is that the schools, because with various different organizations, schools, institutions, colleges, it becomes mandate with them that when they know that it is a compulsory mandatory requirement to be following or abiding by a said compliance, what do they do? It is more of a tick in the checkbox that yes, we are a POXO compliant organization or school or college. And then they get stuck up with the good touch and the bad touch. We have to understand this, and this is absolutely the truth of Indians, that in India, sex is a tabooed subject. Though there have been various different laws, right from the live-in relationships to the decriminalization of 377, there have been a lot of things which are revolutionary in nature, because even the government also has understood, they understand that the times have changed, the relationships have undergone status change, there are too many changes. But at the same time, the emphasis on the sex education is really less, and the parents just think that it is the school's responsibility to be educating the child. Maybe they also do not get time, or whatever their constraints or restrictions or restraints are. But children, definitely the crime in children has increased. They have become very frustrated. And also the children rape was never a subject of discussion ever. But now if the children are committing rape, that is something that the parents need to be pondering on.
Thank you, ma'am. That would be all for today. Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking part in this little conversation and giving us very important information as to how parents need to step up and actually take the role of mentors and explain to the children the realities of life, and how actually in this current pandemic, several little things impact even the adults and the children very similar. Thank you, ma'am, for being here with us today.
Thank you so much.